has mind controlled Pasquale, who crit me, and now I'm at 77 max health. Uh, and there were three, one of them's down. Everyone's focusing on this guy, so he's pretty well taken care of. So we really need to start focusing on this guy because he's just trying to mind control everyone as possible.
Yeah, and some of us have taken like negative levels at this point. Like
Oh
these guys are
yeah.
mean.
Yeah,
I
they
have
have the
heard about
bad
the negative
touch.
levels. Sals,
Yes.
please give me control of my water clone.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
But only today.
As a treat.
You have control.
Okay.
For now.
Also, you're welcome for rolling a natural 20 on your initiative.
Yeah. How high up is he? You say he's 30 feet up?
He is
Mhm.
30 feet up in the air, flying around like he just don't care.
I hate it. That's a violation of my hits to your face law. Yeah.
Okay. So I move my water clone there. Can she hit with a? Is this a cold clone or a water clone?
That is a water clone.
Can she hit from that range?
Her range is 30 feet with a blast.
Yeah.
So he is 30 feet up in the air, and you are currently 25 feet away from him, so probably not.
Okay.
30 and 25. Yeah, he is about 40 feet away from you.
No problem. Yeah. The math's always fuzzy on that. So
Google
healing.
will actually run the Pythagorean theorem for you. So.
All right. So for healing, just so I remember, I want to make sure I remember correctly that if I heal Asai, that will take care of the injury she's taking.
Yes, it heals injuries first.
Okay. Well, I reach over and I boop Asai on the arm. It's a wet boop. You're getting a wet boop.
Mm.
Yeah. So you're getting
Damn.
splashed a little bit. You
That's
heal up to
wet.
57.
Wow.
Wow.
Jack's typing something.
Ah.
Sorry, can I ask something? Hey, Jack, why don't you use the
He's
in-game
not.
chat?
He's
He's
not
not
in
in the
Oh.
there.
chat
on.
yet, but he's
Okay.
writing something.
Last week it was because he wasn't feeling well.
Oh, that's fair. Da-da-da.
So yeah, I heal Asai, move my water clone closer to the nasty fella, and that's my turn. Actually, wait, no, I can still move with Kazumi. I should move with Kazumi. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I wish I had
4,
more health.
5,
Oh, jeez.
6. Okay, that's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
That's your turn.
That's my turn.
You did it.
Mm-hmm.
Asai, it's your turn. There is a dead-eyed Pascal bearing down on you. He has just slashed you across the chest with
Yep.
his Kopesh, leaving a large rent in your robes and a substantial blood stain, the pain of which has only recently faded through Kasumi's intercession. What would you like to do?
Okay, so how does movement work? Can I take a 5-foot step, cast a spell, and then move again? Or is
No.
the 5-foot step my entire movement?
It is.
Okay.
The 5-foot step is basically you're taking a very cautious move that allows you to get away from the person who's next to you without them attacking.
Okay. Wait. Pascal hit me with a melee attack, but I forgot to blind him. Anyway, does that count?
What would blind him?
The holy aura.
He's not evil.
But that works on. I thought it worked on anybody. 1 second. Let me. Okay. He does have to be evil. Okay.
Yep.
Unfortunate. Well, now that I'm healed, I'm going to do something probably very dumb. I'm going to cast Angelic Aspect, which will give me a 30-foot flying speed, and then I'm going to go straight up.
Ooh.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. Two things. First, if you want to cast that without him getting an attack of opportunity, you would need to roll to cast defensively. This will probably not be a problem, but you just need to roll a concentration check
Okay.
or lose Izzy spell. The DC for this is 15 plus the spell's level.
Okay. The spell is 8th level? Where do I have it on my spell sheet? No, I'm casting the 5th level one. Okay. So
DC 20.
what is a concentration check?
It's under spells. It should be automatically calculated for you.
Okay.
If not, I believe it's basically your level plus your wisdom modifier.
Checks. I'm not seeing spells. Would that be under core or attacks?
It's its own tab.
I don't have that tab. Okay, I'm just gonna do
You have a
D20 plus wisdom.
You must.
You have a spells tab. How have you been casting your spells this whole time?
Manually? I made attacks for them?
Oh.
Did you not?
What is
There's settings.
Where are you keeping
You
track
can
of all your
set it and click use a spells.
I have a Word document where I've been
Oh my.
yes. Okay. So let me enable that on your class sheet. Congratulations, you now have a spells tab.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man.
Going to it. I'll just quickly set up a concentration check for you. It uses wisdom, so you can use it. There's now a button that says concentration check.
Okay. Thank you.
And there will also be a slot and an area to enter your spells on the actual sheet if you scroll down. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that you didn't have that. It also has all your ranges calculated for you automatically. So.
Oh, that would have been so nice. Okay.
She has only known pain, and now she's stronger for it.
Okay. Well, you passed the concentration check. You
Cool.
only could have failed that by rolling a 1. So congratulations. You cast Angelic Aspect and fly. So what does this look like exactly? Since Asai isn't like a very angelic normally.
I mean, headcanon, she probably just gets her own pair of Vanth wings.
Mm-hmm.
Bone
so,
wings.
So like a skeletal, black pinioned wings emerge from Asai's back, and with a great flap, she flies directly 30 feet upward as her move action. This does cause a attack of opportunity from Pascal.
Yep.
Well, luckily it wasn't the second attack. However, the first attack does hit you, and you take 23 strain as he slashes at you,
Okie dokie.
cutting off a bit of your lower robes as you scoot directly up into the sky. He then stares up at you impassively.
Yep.
Very good. Okay, Mino. Mino is going to charge this asshole. Stab you. Oh, she does. With a successful stab, the whatever this is, the sepulchral vizier, looks somewhat more injured, though still quite dangerous.
Indeed.
It is now Logan's turn. He is making dinner, so he will delay. It is now Pascal's turn. Pascal stands where he is, looking up at SI because he hasn't been given a new order yet, and he cannot get to her. He kind of like jumps up at you once, slashing, and determines that he cannot reach.
He turns on no clip and just rises. T-posing.
Although, actually, wait a second. This building is quite large. Asai, actually, he does do something. Pascal slams his shield onto the ground,
Oh boy.
and a 30-foot tall tower appears around him. Asai, you are now standing on the ground
Oh no.
of this tower. You also see that there is a sort of stairwell in it. And you can hear clunk, 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 clunk.
Gotcha.
Pascal is about 10 feet from the top of the stairs.
Okay.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
Also, there's now an iron tower in the middle of the room here. Really big room. Sada, it's your turn.
All right. Well. Might have negative levels, but I'm gonna do what I can, take advantage of flanking. To flank this guy with Mino. And do a full attack.
Heck yeah.
Let me just... Alright. Kablam.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the kinetic blade goes for touch AC if that makes any difference.
It do. All right. Your first attack misses. The first kinetic blade attack, however, does hit.
Nice.
That second flaming holy katana misses. The second kinetic blade attack hits. The flaming holy katana hits but fails to crit.
Okay.
And the last kinetic blade actually misses.
Alright.
So you got 3 hits there.
3, okay. And hang on, let me roll my sneak attack 3 times. 2. There we go.
Green.
Hey. Okay.
Try to lay into him.
So you conjure your kinetic blade, and with your natural one equipped, you slash into this creature. It is resistant to fire, but the holy damage from the sword,
Nice.
when it connects, does hurt. And also the kinetic blade, though it is resistant, does hurt it substantially.
Hell yeah.
So that's that. That misses. 17 plus 18 is 35. So that's that. And then for the so it does a total of 20 damage there. Okay. So in total you do 73 damage
Hell
to
yeah.
the sepulchral vizier. As you lash into him, forcing him back, the conjured magical defenses and wards wearing down beneath your assault. Whatever energy or motive animates this entity, giving way to your violence. Speaking of,
Finish it off.
Pow, it is your turn.
Sada goes. As exhausted as she is.
Well, heck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit it.
Unbelievable.
Can you
I did
imagine?
not see that. I didn't see that coming. What a twist!
No.
That's crazy. I'm gonna hit it.
No.
How could this happen
yeah.
to me?
I'm gonna do it.
I
And
talk shit and I'm getting hit.
it's like I just have to hit a couple times.
Don't hit me.
I don't like it.
I'm gonna hit him the first. How many times do I hit in a flurry? Wait a minute.
I have a dumb question.
There
No.
is no such thing.
Well,
So,
Five?
Unless it's Nuva.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Nuva.
that's
Oh.
that's fine.
What's the question?
I'm filling out my spells per day, and it has a bonus spells tab. So, could I have been preparing more spells, or do clerics not get bonus spells?
No, you get additional spells per day according to your wisdom.
What?
Oh,
Yep.
oh, I could have been preparing more spells. Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Oh,
Oh boy.
And you also get one extra spell per day, but that's your domain spell.
You've been clericing with training weights on this whole time. It's
I
wild.
have.
Suddenly a sigh is just like, you know what? Just takes off her gloves and they just slam into the floor. Leave dents in the iron tower. Anywho,
Okay,
Alina.
I'm gonna do a flurry on this guy. I'm gonna try to hit him until he's dead.
Fool, I am already dead.
But if I kill him before the last hit, it sucks that I have to call everything ahead of time because I don't know how it's gonna end up. If I kill him before the final hit, I want that final hit to be a flying kick on the other guy. So I'm calling a potential flying kick, but only if that guy doesn't die. Because I can't call it after the fact. It's the whole thing. Okay. Here I go. Ha-cha-cha-cha. Ha-cha-cha.
That's 2 hits.
God. Is that enough? Is he dead? Does he die?
I will tell you. Well, I would roll your first jab for him.
Hey.
There you go. Plus 6 plus 6 plus 12. How much health does he have left? He is not dead. As you unleash on him, you feel like your hands are passing through sand, or water. You feel weighted down, weakened. The life-sapping energy of this entity depleting you.
Oh, no. I have a haste attack still.
That is true.
So I guess I'll.
Oi! Unfortunately, that
Mm.
does not confirm. So he just takes a bit more damage. You do get to roll jab though.
Yep. And yeah.
Oh, I think that actually killed him with the jab.
Oh,
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah, he's on -2 hit points. Actually,
Hell
no, he's
yeah.
on -4 with the electricity damage. So with one final blow, you just wail back and pushing through the pain and just drained tiredness that you have. You send your fist directly into his masked and covered face and just slam that mask into his horrible red glowing teeth, which fly out of his head for a moment before warping into it, his entire body swirling, screaming into a vortex of itself that disappears into nothing.
Awesome. Can I say the momentum carried me onto his space using like Dancer to just stand on him?
Of course you can.
Cool. I'm here in the middle of all my friends.
yay!
Hello, friends.
As they're all about to
Hello.
swing down.
Now that he's
on
dead,
him.
shouldn't the Vanth have gone on my turn?
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I just forgot about it. Mr. Vance, I have to look up what a Vance in Pathfinder does. The Vanth already used its Searing Light attack. Oh, it has three. It has 3 of those per day.
Yep.
So it's actually going to do that again on the other jerk over here.
Sweet.
Flying up. Move 10 feet over to here. That's his fly speed of 50, actually. So he's going to go another 10 feet over to here and go 30 feet up. Yes, he could do that more efficiently by flying on a diagonal, but I'm lazy. And he's going to hold out his hand, and a beam of perfectly white light is going to strike this sepulchral vizier. Hopefully. He might
Hopefully.
miss. You never know. Let me see. The Vance his deck bonus is 9 plus his dexterity. Hello, Jack. How are you? Badoop. A 25 will hit the sepulchral vizier's touch AC. And so the Vanth will deal, I believe it's 10d8 damage. Because the sepulchral vizier, as it turns out, is vulnerable to sunlight.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Okay. The blazing light of the Vanth, the furious light of Crypta, smashes into the sepulchral vizier and sends him hurtling backwards, spinning ass over a tea kettle before he recovers. Breathing heavily, or well, not breathing heavily, but his dark and putrid breath pouring out of his mask as a plume of smoke. It is that sepulchral vizier's turn, although really it is Mr. Logan's turn because we skipped over him earlier. So he's just been delaying until now.
It's true. He was waiting for the opportune moment to strike.
But what will he do?
Gun.
Pulls out a Spaz 12 shotgun.
No,
Yes.
he does not. Why are you guys so obsessed with that gun in particular?
It's got a
Oh,
fun
it's
name.
this fucking stuff Spaz 12 shotgun. As featured
It's
in
not
a good shotgun.
the Half-Life series.
Also in 2004's Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah.
said tea kettle and made me want tea.
Also, it looks
So
cool.
now
It's got a weird little like over toppy thing. Like,
Yeah, you
anything
got
is
that cool thing where you can you can fold the stock over the top, or you can fold it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's neat.
deal with that.
Yeah.
okay. So Sparks is over there. Yes, Sparks does, and Logan does as well.
Does Sparks? Because wouldn't that go through the new tower?
Oh, that's true. Sparks no longer does. Excuse me. Pascal has erected a large iron tower in the middle of the room in order to try and murder Asai, as he is still under mind control.
Yep. He built it with his own 2 hands.
Yep.
Yep. Iron brick by iron brick.
We call those ingots.
Not anymore.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yes. So Sparks is a dragonfly. What is a dragonfly's fly speed? Well, a giant dragonfly's fly speed is 80 feet, but that's a medium-sized one.
It's true.
Dragonfly. A shimmering dragonfly. The Shimmerwing dragonfly has a fly speed of 60 feet. So yeah, Sparks just zips 60 feet up in the air. Is no longer obscured by the tower. Sparks is actually really quite large. Which is to say that he's tiny, but size tiny is like the size of a bat. Sparks is a dragonfly with a 3-foot wingspan.
What?
There is
Also, we're
only
down to
one
one.
vizier left. So they are separated by planes at this time. So quite far. I don't know what the spell Obliterate does. But yes,
It
Sparks is
obliterates.
a dragonfly with a 3-foot wingspan. It's like one of
Whoa.
those Jurassic period dragonflies.
God, it's so weird knowing about that. Just, it sounds so cool, but also scary.
Yeah, catch and eat small birds.
Just, man, they're tiny now.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, mosquito.
Obliteration is one
We
of
have-
the mightiest forms of destructive power,
We have
able
to
to
make sure.
ravage a creature with devastating result.
Nice. We have to make sure we eat as many. We have to eat as much garlic and onions as possible before the night comes. That's when the mosquitoes come. If we don't, they're gonna suck your blood, and they don't like onion blood.
Obliteration is a 9th level spell. I don't think you have access to that yet. Damn it.
Looks like the one who is assaulted by ruinous power is you.
Yeah, you do not. Max level spell that you have at level 16 is level 8. So
Man, I'm feeling like I have some negative levels right now.
you do.
No, I mean real
What?
life.
Oh,
Why don't you?
Oh no.
Yeah, well, why don't you
I'm
crack open a cold
drained.
one?
I don't have a cold one.
That's yeah. Go out. Leave.
No.
Get a
I'm
Well,
cold
more pesto.
straight from the jar.
eat a
No,
banana.
Straight from the
covered
jar.
in gnocchi
Banana with
with
pesto.
covered in
No, that's
with,
that.
with gnocchi and sausage and chocolate rose tomatoes.
Ooh.
What?
also obliteration is a third-party edition for rune magic. So actually, we're not using that anyway. But anyway, I can't see his list. Well, I can. Where is Logan? There is Logan. Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Logan will cast Tomato.
Those are very pretty tomatoes.
Hell yeah.
A 8th level Tomato.
It's got a very rich flavor.
Okay, where did that? Okay. Okay, Logan's 8th level Tomato will be not that. Logan, how many chain lightnings did you cast today?
At least 2.
Yeah, I thought it was 2, but you got 4. So, but they have to be prepared. But okay, and you also cast Enemy Hammer.
Yeah.
And 2 disintegrates from the previous fight.
Yes. All right, so yeah, I think 6th level is actually tapped out at this point. But 3rd isn't. Just throw a regular lightning bolt at it. Krakum. Heightening lightning bolt maxes out at 10d6. So heightening it wouldn't do anything. Empowering it would, or maximizing it. You have heighten, quicken, and that's it. So just a garden variety lightning bolt might still be effective.
I agree.
Right. I don't know how much of your arcane pool it takes to quicken this, but sure. Could be fun. Sparks and you both cast lightning bolt from 2 different directions at the same time. If you'd like to do that, of course. Because I would. Okay. The lightning bolts cross paths just at this sepulchral vizier, who must make 2 reflex saves. So that d20 plus that number, pata. Ooh, well, a natural 20 will definitely do it. And the second one, a natural 6, might have bigger trouble. I think your DC for 3rd level spells might be 23. Let me see. DC 22. Okay, so he passes the second one and the first one, but they both do damage. So Logan rolls 33 damage and 37 damage, which averages out to be perfectly average, or over across the both of them, and dealing 17 damage each. Well, no, dealing as a result, not really. So the first one does 16 damage, and the second one does 18 damage. But whatever. They in total, the sepulchral vizier takes 34 damage as it is forced to dodge through the air, hissing in anger as it is barraged by all these different zaps and lasers, and it's just not having a good time anymore. So it is going to do a fun thing, as it is now its turn. It, after being fried by lightning and zapped by lasers, it holds out, it guards itself with arcane power before lashing out, throwing the various projectiles that have been impacting it to the side, allowing, revealing it in all its four-armed glory as it says, "Enough! Hear the word of Xerxes!" And as he speaks Xerxes' name, you are all impacted by a veritable physical force of word. And before doing that, he's actually going to fly over here.
Okay.
And drop down a bit. So he
All
actually...
right.
Yeah. So he's only 10 feet up right now, and yeah. I need... Pascal is technically out of range because of the Pythagorean theorem again. But I need everybody who isn't Pascal, Asai, and Logan to make a wisdom save.
All right, here we go.
Oh, also, I forgot the music.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, what was that again? A will save?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said wisdom save at first. I was a little confused.
I
Alright.
was like
Yeah.
not sure what I heard. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Well,
momentarily in the wrong game system. I apologize.
no worries. Okay. Well,
What
hopefully
is this
Akio
fifth
passes,
edition?
and well, guess we'll see where that goes.
I wish that frickin' buff tag would go away.
Why is it that I never know how to spell this word? I keep trying to spell exercise and I always spell it wrong.
I do too.
Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't even do it. I can't even think of it. Exercise. No.
Yeah. It.
No. I don't know.
Exer. Like there, you think
Ex.
you're hearing the C that you know is in the word earlier than you expect it to
Oops.
be.
Okay, so that's a 14 and not 114. So the Vanth is getting the did not pass its check.
Is this an enchantment spell or effect?
I don't think it is. I'll check
Okay.
though.
Enchantment?
Enchantment.
Enchantment.
Does he have to roll for the spell resistance?
Oh!
Oh yeah, technically it does. This does not just ignore spell resistance. Okay. Well, basically this is on everybody, so. And it's
Oh, this is
spell
the music.
resistance 25, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so let's start with Sada.
That's
He
me.
definitely overcame it with that one. He rolled a natural 20. For Pow, he fails. So Pow does not need to make a save. Mino does need to make a save. Batbayar does need to make a save. The Vanth does not actually have this spell resistance. Kasumi's clone does not have spell resistance either, summoned after. Akio does have to make a save. Kasumi
Oh.
does have to make a save.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I made a save at 24, right there.
yes, you did.
Yeah, you didn't pass.
Alright, Batbear
But- I'm really surprised, actually. Okay.
Mino rolls a 25. Okay. So, congratulations to Akio. You passed. I
Yeah.
still need Sada's.
What am I rolling? Am I rolling again?
Did you roll a will save?
Yeah, 23 right there.
Do not see it.
It's right
Oh,
there.
yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's right there. I have eyes. Kasumi, I do need you to roll one for your water clone.
Oh.
I didn't think the clone had the same saves as you.
I don't recall what the clone saves were supposed to be.
Well, it's written in the thing.
Give me a second. Okay, it's half my kinesis level, so it has a
plus
called
8.
+8, yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a 22. Alright, so the clone, Mino. Actually, no, Mino passed, right? Yes, she did. The clone, Batbayar.
Yeah.
Let me just mark this off. Clone, Batbayar, who's also exhausted. Sada and the Vanth are affected by the blasphemy spell.
Ooh.
Seems bad.
Okay, So,
I'm ready to die.
I'm ready to blasphemize.
So will actually is only partial. A successful will save reduces creatures affected by multiple effects. Okay, so the creature can take a save against that. So that's good for most people. Oh, good. Okay. So everybody has to deal with this now. Oh, actually, the Vanth. How many hit dice does the Vanth have? The Vanth has 9 hit dice, which is... Oh, so the Vanth is actually... You see the Vanth freeze in place and drop to the floor, bouncing off this pillar and landing. Completely immobilized, like a statue.
Oh.
It didn't like that. Its damage reduction does absorb all of the damage from falling. However, it does take 6 strength damage.
Oh boy.
And it is dazed for 1 round. Which is now that.
Did we take strength damage?
Yeah, what's
There's a lot of people to go through. Give me
Okay.
a sec.
Pow's
Kasumi.
good though, right?
Pow is good because
okay.
Pow was the one who was protected by the spell resistance. Kasumi, you take 5 strength damage.
Oof.
Akio, you take 8 strength. You take 4 strength
What?
damage.
Akio?
Takes 4 strength damage.
Huh. Forced strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kasumi's clone. Kasumi's clone only has a quarter of Kasumi's hit dice, which is 4, which means Kasumi's. Oh, actually,
I wonder what vampire's gonna get hit by then.
Kasumi's clone is technically neither alive nor undead.
Schrodinger's clone.
Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
wonder,
no, it's non-living, like a construct. So actually, it's not affected by the killed portion of blasphemy, which is nice.
Yeah, really.
The killed portion, huh?
Yes. However, it is paralyzed and takes 4 strength damage. Funnily enough, it is paralyzed for 6 minutes.
Oh, it's effectively out of the fight.
Yeah, pretty much. And so is the Vanth also has to be paralyzed for that amount of time. Vanth is only paralyzed for 1 minute.
60 turns later, the water clone is back in action.
Yes, the water clone is also dazed. So I can remove the little red mark from it. Him, we got through him. Vampire.
Yeah.
You fortunately don't have to worry about the paralyzed option, and your strength is only reduced by 2. You take 2 strength damage.
I don't understand what?
You take 2 strength damage.
I just don't understand why Vampire got the least of it and Akio got the most of it.
Look at the roll.
How it happens
Weird.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Vampire is, however, dazed for 1 turn though. For 1 round.
Alright, that's fine. 2 strength.
Mino, who passed the save, takes 4 strength damage. And Sada, who did not pass the save, take 6 strength damage,
All right.
and you are dazed for 1 round.
All right. Put that in there. All right, 6 strength damage.
Cool.
And dazed. Okay.
Mhm.
There we go.
He
All right.
will.
Sada's fucking out of it.
Then he will gloom blind bolts because he's now in a relatively vulnerable position. And he'll fire at 3 different subjects. Actually, he'll fire once at Kasumi, Kapalina, and at Pathfinder. Oh wait, he used his quickened gloom blind bolts already, right?
Goombambo.
Bumbo.
Yes.
Goombambo.
They all had used their quickened gloom blind bolts, so he will not do that. So he'll just be satisfied with blaspheming you all. Oh, and let's just roll once to see how long that strength damage lasts. For all of you, that'll last 6 turns.
Oh my god.
6
You
rounds.
guys.
Pathfinder, it's your turn.
Alright, 1 sec, I guess. I guess I'll... I mean, I kind of saw what happened when Pao tried to... Alright. I'm going to... I guess I'm gonna step over here. And I'm gonna hit him.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what
Smack him.
happens. With my blade.
That is, by the way, not a 5-foot step. That's 10 feet to move to there from where you are.
Oh, then I will take the attack of opportunity.
You don't. You're only entering a space. I'm just saying that you don't get your full attack.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But I thought I also provoked, so that's fine.
Nope.
I'm gonna hit him with that Kino Dashi. Let's see how this goes, everybody. It went well.
You went pretty well. That does hit. It does not
No crit
confirm, though.
confirmed. Yeah.
And the creature's otherworldly resilience absorbs much of the blow.
Oh, I forgot about this cunt. Okay. Whatever. Fucking otherworldly resistance. What do you think you are? The devil?
Yes.
Close
Oh,
enough.
I literally am an evil outsider.
Yeah. You're no fun, is what you're saying.
I'm going to invert your intestines. Akio, is your turn.
Gonna slurp your soul through a straw.
Oh, wait a
Oh.
second. What am I doing? Get back there. Batfire, you're dazed. I forgot.
Oh,
At the end of your turn,
I
you're
also
no longer
forgot.
dazed, but yeah. So you do drop your turn to reacting from just hearing the blasphemous naming of Xerxes rocking your brain. Akio, it's your turn.
What a waste of a crit. I'm gonna throw my sword at him. I'm gonna throw my sword!
Do it, you won't.
I'm doing it right now.
That actually does hit him, impressively enough.
Okay. Which means I roll 5d6.
Yeah. Which is good because
Sorry,
otherwise...
wait.
What?
Oh no, I thought I messed up. Okay. Good why?
Because otherwise it wouldn't have dealt that much damage. However, with the lightning, though he dodges out of the way, the lightning arcs off of the sword before it buries itself into the floor behind him, electrocuting his otherworldly form severely.
I also give him
And-
a middle finger.
He does not seem to care very much.
Sure.
Kasumi, it is your turn.
That's me.
Like this.
Oh wait, where did he go? Where is he? God, I have to like be careful because like roll 20 now for some reason chugs so hard that he's like that it like makes my computer like heat up.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Like I can't. It does not smoothly. I don't know if it's because of the size of this particular game, like just the number of assets that are in the back end. But
I don't know.
It's
but-
really rough. Anywho.
Yeah, this what is this track? It hits hard.
Yeah,
It
it rules.
does clap.
It's pretty
Just,
flappy.
just to let you know, because you were wondering about how many points it takes. It's literally 1. You spend 1 arcane reservoir point to apply a meta magic feat. So
Okay.
it's
Cool.
Pretty strong.
It's so inexpensive.
Oh yeah, that is what makes Arcanists so good. Is while the rate of their spell acquisition is not quite like the wizard tier.
I mean,
They
you can write them down. They got the spell book, everything.
eh,
Well, anyway,
but they
don't you me.
they have the they can just toss meta magic around willy nilly. For me though, this gentleman is how many feet up is he now?
He is only about 10 feet up, actually.
Okay, so I could hit him from where I'm at. Okay. He's undead, so he's probably strong against cold. I don't want to do Frostfire. It's gonna half damage. Let's hit him with a Fire Blast from me. He will actually roll. Click this in. Go there. Weird. I have to refresh. Oh, there we go. And then a Water Blast from the clown. Damn.
Okay.
Water clone got hands. Wait, no, water clone can't do anything. She's paralyzed. Damn it.
Yes. Water clone is dazed, and also paralyzed for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But you do fire out a fire blast that manages to make some contact, and though it does seem like his leathery flesh is somehow pretty resistant to fire, it does injure him somewhat.
Okay.
It's looking pretty hurt. Pretty angry, too. Asai, is your turn.
Alright, now that I have an extra spell that I didn't know about, I'm gonna cast a Holy Smite at this guy. Yeah, it's got 100-foot range. Well, first I'm gonna fly another 30 feet up in the air to get away from Pasquale. And then I'm going to 100-foot range Holy Smite this guy, which deals 1d8 points of damage per 2 caster levels, so maximum 5d8 to each evil creature in the area. It's a 20-foot radius. It does also hurt neutral creatures. So sorry guys. Where can I do this where it won't hurt?
Neutral, like, of alignment?
Yeah, neutral alignment people. Anybody who isn't good
Fortunately,
is gonna
I'm
get
chaotic.
hit by this.
Fortunately, I'm chaotic good.
I'm lawful good.
But Batbayar, Kasumi's clone, and Akio are all neutral.
Huh, well,
Pick a side.
Interestingly, so is the Sai, and so is the Vanth.
yep. Well, I'm gonna cast it here, cause, wait, no. 20 feet. It'll hit Mino. That makes me upset. Okay, well, I'm gonna cast it so it hits Mino and Batbayar on that guy. And
Okay.
not the Kasumi clone.
What's the
I
save?
figure, a successful will saving throw reduces it to half and negates the blinded effect.
Okay. Mino does not save.
Oh, it does a maximum of 10d6 to an evil outsider.
Ah! Okay. The Sepulchral Vizier gets a will save. It is very good at will saves, I will say.
Okay.
I will save. He does save. Or rather, he rolls a 27, which I presume saves.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
Bat
okay.
Bayard, you also need to make a will save.
I'm going to make a will save. Here we go. Unbelievable. Whoa, okay. There we go.
Hey!
Nice.
Hey. That's what they call... That's my middle name.
Okay. Roll 10
That
d6
nice Bayard.
damage against the Sepulchral Vizier, and roll 5d8 for Mino and Bat Bayard. Bat Bayard, you'll be taking half.
Yep.
Okay, roll it.
Okay, 10d6.
Okay, so he takes a total of 18. So he gets blasted by the holy energies of Crypta. That's a pretty damn good roll for 5d8. So Mino takes a 27-point injury.
I'm sorry.
As Crypta just slaps her
Wait,
her face.
What's half of that? 13.5, I guess? What's half of 27?
It's excuse me, 13.
Oh, we round... Okay, cool.
Always round down.
Alright.
So Mino is also blinded, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oof.
So Mino is just suddenly just like, oh.
Oh wait, never mind.
I've
The
seen the
spell
tru-
deals only half damage to creatures who are neither good nor evil, and they are not blinded.
Okay.
Such a creature can reduce the damage by half down to 1/4 with a successful will save. So, that fire actually only takes a quarter.
Ah, that's good. So Bat Bayard, you take 6 damage, so recover 6 HP, and Mino recovers also. Let me see. It goes down to 13 for her, and she takes the full, and she took 27 earlier, so it's she gets 14 HP back.
I feel less bad now.
But it is still an injury, as Mino gets slightly slapped by Crypta. There is no physical injury, but Mino has seen Crypta in her true form, and it has scarred her. It's now her turn. She's going to walk over to here, directly beneath the Sepulchral Vizier. Sepulchral Vizier does not get an attack of opportunity because he is too high up. Mino has a reach weapon, which he will then use to poke him in the feet, that he does not have. So he's just going to sort of stick this spear right up his dress and stab whatever's in there.
All right.
That's so rude.
It is. She
How
also
do we
misses.
gotta do that?
What it deserves.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she misses, and the Sepulchral Vizier is merely just like, stop.
Don't stab me! Don't stab me in the dick.
Too bad.
That's right, I have a ghostly dick.
I have the big ghost stick.
That's just...
It's the only thing that's not ghostly. Weird, isn't it?
That's
Had
unfortunate
delayed
for
his
you.
turn earlier. While we were
We all
waiting for
choose
Jack,
our
so
weaknesses.
we'll just go to Pascal. Pascal will finish getting up the stairs, stop in the middle of the tower, look up and see you're all the way up there, and he's just going to stare at you. You do see his shoulders slump slightly.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Sada, it is your turn.
All right.
No, it isn't.
Oh.
Or rather, you are dazed.
Oh yes. Ugh.
On the bright side, now you're not.
Okay.
Halina, it's your turn.
Oh. Take care of business. Hey, you punch it. Go punch the heck out of it. I'll kick it in the face. The flying
Right.
kick. I'm also gonna crush its throat on the
Good.
second strike if I can take it. Whoop.
Do it. You will. Oh, you
That's a
will.
lot of green. That's a lot of green. That's a lot of green.
That first attack misses. Second attack misses. Third attack hits. Fourth attack hits
Fourth
and
attack!
and confirms.
Yeah.
With actually roll another d20. See if you roll a third 20.
I rolled 3.
So you do not super critical and instantly murder him, but you do, however, nail him twice. Roll a jab.
Man, just twice. Oh, I got one for haste also.
Oh, yep, that's true.
Oh.
You nail him twice.
One jab.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. Does that 5 take him out? 5 right there. Kill him.
Oh, pardon me. That was a
No. The crit killed him without
Wait.
the 5 damage from the jabbing critical. How would you like to do this, as they say?
I kick him in his ghostly dick. And
Right.
the kick goes right up through him and cleaves him in half.
Okay.
From crotch to head. And
Yeah,
then he, I don't know, disappears into 2 separate clouds of evil vapor.
Absolutely. You do a leap flipping kick, sending your foot straight up through his body, leaving a sort of platinum line foot width straight up through to him. The 4 arms grasp at the air, at magic, at anything, attempting to maintain his existence on this plane before either side of him starts falling to the opposite side, and with a loud slurping noise, it does not even make a sound. He makes no sound besides a choked acknowledgement of his own surprise as both halves spiral into each other and disappear.
Cool. Can I offer an alternate vision?
Sure.
So Pow kicks him and it's like the kick goes like right up through his body and it's like super fast. And then we have like a quick hard cut to like the very ceiling of this tower where his ghostly dick hits the roof and
I'm sorry.
evaporates into a cloud, and then the rest of his body turns into vapor and fades away or whatever.
Rita, I must ask specifically the dick.
Yes.
What about?
No,
Yeah,
kick the dick right off.
he kicks his dick
You kicked the
right
dick
through
off.
his body and
Yeah.
up into
You
the
kicked his
ceiling.
dick off?
Yeah.
Ghost sticking.
Why did Xerxes give his sepulchral viziers dicks?
Look,
That's
Xerxes is all about.
he has ambition.
He's all about those big hogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ultimate of ambition, the big hog.
Right.
Man,
When it hits the ceiling, it makes that like anime puff kind of sound, and it turns
Man.
into a little
No,
cloud.
there should be a bell tower and it hits the bell. The bell.
Oh,
Man,
is there a bell in this tower? That'd be so good.
God.
There is
Every-
now. Yes, there's a clonk noise as
Song.
his disembodied phallus smashes against it before exploding into unmade dust. And yes, he is incredibly dead, or rather thrown back to the infinite tower, and also emasculated.
Good.
Kasumi looks like she has one of those big anime sweat bubbles on her forehead, but it's actually just because she's an elemental or
There is combat over?
Combat is over. The
Hey.
tower is suddenly quiet, and also
Feel like
the
shit.
constant sounds of battle outside. You could hear the sounds of the city being terrified and destroyed, it seems to have quieted down in this instant. You can still hear occasional calls for help and screaming, but the roar of a horde of undead attempting to take down the castle, undead that were really quite noisy, surprisingly, has been silenced.
Hey, where's the priest?
Yeah.
There is no priest inside this chamber.
The fuck?
Maybe those dudes were the source of it.
No, because they're advisors for a mortal servant of Sir Xerxes, and there were 3 of them, so it's a very powerful, very important mortal of Sir Xerxes.
Well,
You did notice that the priest that you saw while scrying was walking towards the shore, not towards the city.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was the one who worked with the city then. I thought it was just some rando.
Just
You do see that the temple itself looks like it, now that you're no longer fighting in it and able to sort of sort through the bones a bit. And while this is a jam, I'm going to switch to something a little bit more calm. Yeah. And effect. Flash.
What?
Stop. Thank you. Play that.
ba, 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 ba.
There we go.
So, were you saying, Sals?
You see that the temple looks as if it's been somewhat ransacked a bit. And Logan, once you do such an investigation, it's not difficult to find behind this main statue here a stairwell down into a basement area. Asai, you do note looking down that Pascal has shaken his head clear and looks back up at you and goes, Asai, I'm so sorry.
And then when you come down, he
I
stabs
mean,
you.
if you really had that much of a problem with me, I feel like we could have just talked it out. I'm sorry.
That's what drinking's for.
Pascal looks like very sort of beside himself. He also takes the tower down.
And then you both fall.
Oh no, Asai's wins. Pascal
Yes.
walks to the base before doing so. He is not a dumbo. When it comes to something like that. Other things.
Well, we
Can
should get
I-
back to the castle and try to triage, you know?
Wait, what's in the basement? We should check that
Mm.
quick.
We're
Or-
Going
kind
down.
of okay. We're kind of tenderized here. Do we really want to go down a spooky basement?
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
Can we like detect evil just to make sure there's like nothing down there ready to kill us?
Sure. I believe you
sure.
have detect evil, don't you?
I detect evil.
That is a 60-foot cone, and just sort of going and well, looking down the stairwell, walls do block detect evil, but you don't necessarily detect evil until you get to the base. So, do you travel down the stairs or?
Until I detect evil, sure.
Okay. So you're searching. So make a perception check for me.
Skills.
Okay. Logan follows Paulina down. Is anyone else following her?
Fine.
Paulina, you
I
do
rolled a
see
7.
on your way down, simply because you're trying to like keep your eyes open as well as possible, and this section is fairly well lit. There is a lantern set into the wall every few feet. You do see a step that it's very subtle, but it has a slight separation between the each side of the step and the walls that the other steps do not.
Is this a trick step? Is this a trap step? Is this a trick trap?
You don't know.
Anybody know how to look at a trick trap?
You have good
Oh.
eyes.
I have
So-
How does
Logan,
one
this is a
trick trap?
spiral staircase with actual that's actually cramped even for you and your small size. Flying here, not really possible. You could sort of fall with style if you just flop down all the stairs. Sparks has perfect maneuverability, so Sparks can actually hover in place. So yes, Sparks can. Okay, sacrifice Sparks instead. But yeah, Paulina, you are not sure what it is, but yes, that stair definitely looks different from all the other ones.
Let's
Okay.
go.
No.
Kasumi marches ahead.
No, I hold you back. There's
Kasumi-
Do it,
a
Kasumi.
suspicious stare.
Okay.
Better makes the stairs into a fun slide we can ride down.
Okay, but that's a risk, and we're kind of.
But what's at the bottom?
If it's something real bad, if it's just a big pit and we fall to our death,
Just
Well, hey,
out of
whatever happens,
curiosity.
happens. I'm not half. I haven't lost most of my blood in a bad state where I'm
You have.
making bad decisions.
You are.
Oh
What?
yeah, that reminds me.
I
Vampire
can't
walks
hear you.
over. Vampire walks over and picks up Sada and begins to shake her because she's making
Vampire,
stupid.
that's the problem. You actually cannot fit down these stairs.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a
Magic
good
pendant.
thing.
At least not as
It's
a centaur.
It's a good thing I have a magic pendant that has a 1 in 3 chance of turning me into something small. I put it on. What do I roll? 1d48.
Not quite that. Oh, actually, yeah, it is quite that high, isn't it?
How many new things
No,
have
it's
been
1d40,
added? How?
40, I believe. I've been discovering
22.
stuff about Locust 2, guys.
Locust 2?
What?
The sequel?
Locust too?
Electric
No,
Boogaloo?
not that.
Not really a fan of
1,
Locust 2.
2, 3, 4.
The earlier stuff was better.
10. Well, that's nothing interesting. You are now an extremely muscular birdman.
Ooh!
Oh,
You
Oh!
wings emerge from your back. Your legs become taloned, and you gain switchback knees, which is a little weird.
I don't like that.
It's actually not good. You find this suddenly as you shrink down for the first time. You have become another ancestry that actually makes you pretty uncomfortable. Your bones aren't happy holding up as much weight as they are right now.
All of your bones break.
Okay, I take it off before I literally fall in on myself. Or
You're not at risk of doing that,
oh,
but you are
I guess
pretty awkward. And you know, if you were just going to like leave this on for the full however long you can leave it on before going to sleep, you'd probably start having some pretty bad bone pain, simply because the hollow bones of a raptor are not built for carrying hundreds of pounds of weight. which
Well,
you are currently putting on them.
I guess what we gotta do is get down those stairs and then take this off. So let's do that, I guess. Guys, I'm a very muscular bird, but unfortunately birds are not prepared to be this bulk yet. Gotta wait.
Does nobody have a way to like look for traps or something? 'Cause I don't think I do.
Can
No.
I activate my sight of seeing literally everything for a round and see what that stair
What?
looks like?
What do you... What?
So
Yeah.
what is your
Wouldn't it
ability
just
there?
be perception?
I mean, I also rolled a perception, but that wasn't much higher than Pow's.
Asai's perception is slightly higher than Pow's, though,
Mhm.
which means she sees something else. A much finer than the separation between the walls and the step. To either side of that step, you can see, and sort of running up the length of the stairs along the outer wall. It was hard to notice at first because it's actually sort of going along with the regular stonework, but there is a very slender separation between stones that basically goes the entire length down the stairwell from what you can see. A little slit.
Like it opens? Like it's like a...
There is it looks like a tiny little slit in the wall. Yes, it's an opening. Only a few millimeters wide. You can't really see through it. It's all darkness past.
What I mean is, like, does it seem like the seam of a box? How do I word this?
Does it run the length of the stairwell? Like
It does.
where a handrail would be? There's like a weird.
There's a little slit in the wall instead of.
I don't trust that.
Nice.
What if like a knife comes up that cuts our heads off?
To just shift over to Sparks momentarily. The slit is also at about waist level.
Cut us in half.
Sparks flies all the way down. It's about a 20-foot deep stairwell, and at the bottom it is a long hallway with rooms going off to either side, lit in very much the same way as the stairwell is, with recessed lanterns. It's currently pretty bare down there as well. There seems to have been a bunch of stuff that had been evacuated. It looks like.
Can I make a religion check?
Sure.
I mean, this was built into a temple. Is this something that has been built into other temples that I know about?
Oh, no. But
okay.
From what you can see, you have seen that there's a stair that is unlike all the other stairs, and that there is a slit in the wall going down apparently the entire length of the stairwell. You can see the stair that we're talking about is about 10 feet down. The steps, so about halfway. And the slit just keeps going.
Can you describe the weirdness with the stair again?
Have we considered going really old school and grabbing like a femur from one of the skeleton samurai and just poking the stair?
Ooh.
What am I hearing right now?
Music, I guess.
A spooky voice.
No, did no one hear that?
No.
Was it a spooky voice? Ah!
What do you know?
Yeah! There's a voice!
Okay, I was like, is no one hearing that?
TV or something in someone's background. I don't know. Oh, Jake.
Okay,
sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
I thought it was part of the music. I was like, what?
There's a spooky voice in the stairwell.
Not really that spooky.
No!
No, it's a pretty mundane voice if we're being honest.
Okay.
But anyway, What do you do?
I have a femur on hand because I was gonna cast Carrion Compass to see if whoever created the undead was actually still around.
Okay.
So let's poke the stair.
How about everybody make sure they're not gonna be bisected by whatever shoots up the gap? Like, not.
Oh, all right.
I don't know.
Poking the
Like,
stair does not cause anything to happen.
oh, okay.
Okay, do I have any spells that can help with this? Probably not. But while people are considering this, I am gonna cast Carrion Compass to see if it leads me somewhere interesting.
Does Carrying Compass go across planes?
No, I don't think so.
It does not detect the presence of the person who created this undead on this plane.
Okay.
So it was.
I figured it was the homeboys, but
The three amigos. We will get to what Logan sees as soon as we figure out how you guys are figuring out this stairwell.
Let's just fucking leave. If you guys are if we're just gonna fucking do this, let's just leave.
Yeah, can we heal at least and then come back to it? I just don't want us to
Die.
Yeah.
I'll
Or
also
something silly
say
like a
one more
stairwell.
thing. The stairs, are different. Each stair at its widest is about a foot across.
I march down the stairs.
You step on the stair that's different.
Yes.
Okay. You hear a ka-chunk as the stair depresses, and after a second, you see a blade
What I fucking
slicing
say?
up through the stairwell towards you.
I feel like he
Alright.
tricked us.
Reflex save, huh?
Aside, who else is on the stairwell right now? Asai
Pow
and
None of
Paulina.
us.
Pow would be if Kasumi's down there, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not anymore. I said let's
absolute
leave.
absolute ding dong behavior.
Accio, because he was like, I can't just let them go in the dark by themselves.
Okay, so basically everybody but Sada is on the stairwell. It
No,
seems like
bet by our Visada.
I had
That's
dark
pretty-
vision.
Batbear just became a big buff bird for no reason.
Why would Akio go down when he can't see any better in the dark?
I don't know. He's drunk.
Because he's brave and drunk.
Just stop drinking.
I mean, I'm not dumb. If I can't fly, I'm not going down those stairs so I know it's safe.
Makes sense.
That's fair.
So
yeah.
Logan and Sada and Batbear are spared.
And Asai probably won't back up to cast Carrion Compass.
Oh, makes sense.
When I come back
suppose.
from my breakfast, Akio is gonna start becoming friends with Lagan and making him do things.
Speaking of, I posted the description for Carrion Compass. It doesn't say anything about not being on planes, so it would take you to the last location that they were made or anything like
Oh.
that. So it would still work.
Okay. It does actually just sort of lead you to where it is, to like the middle of this room, where it falls into the middle of the floor.
Okay.
Okay, so Kasumi, what is your AC?
My AC is 36,
Oh.
baby.
Oh, this is AC. This isn't the. Oh boy,
Not
Paulina,
reflex.
what is your AC?
my AC is 39.
Okay, and who else was on that stairwell?
Akio.
Akio, what is your AC?
26, baby.
Wait,
Okay.
38 because I had haste on still. Yep.
Okay. So wait, so a 36, a 38, and a 26? Or
Yeah.
36, a 39, and a 26?
38.
Okay.
Oh.
It hits all three of you.
Fuck.
Two of you, I rolled the exact number I needed.
Wowzer.
It's kind of funny.
Do we all get
Uh,
bisected, and then everybody feels really bad that we died on a stairwell?
This is sort of like the blade from the test of the
Faith.
first test in Last Crusade. So it's just basically this spinning blade that's wicking up the stairs.
Yeah.
You are sort of you all throw yourself to the ground to try and not get bisected, and you succeed.
Sucks so bad.
And it did not actually crit any of you, so yeah, you although it's a blade, that's typically a 19 through 20. No, it's a trap. It's a 20 that it crits on. So okay, Akio, you take 13 strain. Paulina,
Oh, my buttocks!
you take 23 strain, and Kasumi, you take 12 strain as you
He's
all
fine.
throw yourselves to the ground to avoid the blade. The rest of you are standing at the top of the stair, see this blade reach the top of the stairway, it recedes just before the end, and you hear the sound of machinery as in the walls as it finishes its ascent.
That buyer screams down, "Guys, I think it's a trap!"
Yeah, okay, we're gonna come back up. Come on.
It's
That seems a bit excessive.
It's a random stair that looks odd. And a weird hole in the wall.
Yeah.
That seems a little obvious.
Yeah. Weird,
Like
Kasumi.
a
weird.
secret door. I thought it'd be like a secret door type
No,
deal.
it's
Look,
clearly
it's
enough. I even said there would be a knife or some shit.
Like it could have been arrows. It could have been a blade.
Yeah.
A kobold could have stuck his hand out of there and shot you with a wand.
What
I mean,
if like a little dude just came out and bit your hand?
That'd be
Okay,
bad.
I mean, I would totally bite your hand if you stepped on my weird trap stair.
Here's the thing. I was playing rock paper scissors with my water clone.
And the water clone won several times.
You look at the water clone and it turns into a puddle.
Actually, that's the thing. The water clone is paralyzed still.
Valid. 5 more minutes.
I cannot believe I allowed this to happen. Can we get some healing or
Look, yeah,
does
look.
anybody have a potion?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Find me like a puddle of water that we could sit in.
Now that we have
Yeah.
finally had the blade trap try to murder you all, Logan, while this is happening, you are keeping half an eye on your dragonfly's eyes. And Sparks has been buzzing around through this basement area much more easily. It's a little bit more open. And going through different rooms to the sides, which are basically all open now. Sparks moves very quickly. One of the first rooms that you find is evidently a prison. There are 6 cells. There are 6 former prisoners in the cells who have been made deceased, evidently executed in the haste to leave this place by their former captors.
Well, we got some guys to potentially bring back. Oof.
What did you say?
Here.
I can share my. I believe I can share my vision if I. Let me look.
What?
I think I can share my vision with one person if I spend Arcanus points.
That's the thing you can do?
Yeah, magic's weird, dude.
Here. Touch my hand.
Yeah. No.
Don't do it.
I touched his hand.
He didn't wash his hands. No.
I'm gonna spend an Arcanus point, and you see what Spark sees.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
What
yes,
is
you
it?
see a number of 6 cells, each with a former prisoner in them. The cells are left open. The prisoners are in various states of agony. Their throats are cut. A couple look like they were trying to crawl for the exit when they expired.
Jesus. So
Are
just
we
like
able
just
to
like the
see-
fucking Elder Temple in Hayaba, then, right?
Are we able to see any like defining features on them? Like, do I possibly
I
recognize
can
them?
get closer here.
Flying in a bit closer, the 6 of them appear to be not really necessarily related. They are 6 individuals. 4 of them are human. 2 of them are Okano.
Okano?
Catfolk.
Oh,
Yep.
Ah.
3 of them have tattoos on the small of their backs of a cup that is overflowing. The other 3 have no particularly identifying marks.
You guys got anything?
no, I wanted to note down their appearances just in case, they may
Tell
be
'em,
somebody of
yeah.
importance to the.
Yeah.
Also, just in case there's no like weird imposter stuff going on back in the castle.
Yeah. Good
Yep.
call.
If there's not for now, if we're gonna back off and recuperate, if there's not like a pool that we can sit in for a few moments here, we should go back to the castle and see if there's anything because that can heal us in mass. Just over
Okay.
time.
Now let's go back to the castle.
Is there anything else down here besides these 6 rooms?
Those 6 cells, yes.
Yeah.
There are in fact 7 other chambers that you can see.
Oh, fun times.
At least it's not 77 chambers, then we'd be in trouble.
Do you want to just check at random a couple of them, or would you like to go through each of them before leaving?
Logan's very meticulous. He'll go through each one.
Okay.
Since Sparks
As-
doesn't have hands, what is it? I mean, he can cast my spells, so he just opened doors with.
Open, close. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
open, close. Yep.
The doors are pretty much been left open. Whoever left this place left in a hurry. And it looks like most stuff has been taken. However, you can sort of see what they were originally used for, as a lot of heavier stuff has been left behind. One chamber is full of various torture equipment, ornate torture equipment, extremely meticulously well made, and you note exceptionally clean, despite the clear viciousness of their purpose.
Somebody maintained their torture equipment.
Into another chamber, you find a number of half-made statues and incomprehensible silk screen drawings that have just been sort of tossed on the floor, filling that chamber.
It's a good waste of art. Well, crazy art, but still a good waste of art.
A third chamber has been mostly cleared out. It looks like it was some sort of barracks. There are a couple of beds, but most of like the chests for each at the foot of each bed have been opened and emptied. However, there are a number of mannequins that presumably once held weapons and armor, and the various racks as well. However, you do note that something with your perception check from before. You did roll a perception check before, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I got a was it 22? I can roll it again. I mean, that was just to look where Pow was looking before.
Right. Actually, yes. Please
Or I
roll
saw-
please roll another perception check for me.
Yeah. Every time I'm pulling up a sheet. All right, there we go. Skills, perception. 24.
You spot something that looks like it fell behind one of the chests that had been emptied and forgotten. You see a suit. You see a number of
Listen, Armani.
metal links, and flying closer, you see that it's actually what looks like a chainmail shirt. Not in a Hadanese style. Well, you're not sure. Perhaps with a history check, or if you have such a thing available, or with knowledge local,
I mean,
you might be.
who's ever, touching my hand could also do that. They're seeing.
That's true.
What should knowledges?
History or knowledge local.
I do not have either.
I have both, I believe. Let me look. I better have both. I have local and history. Oh, my history's great.
Yes, you are big brain kobold, and with a 34, yeah, you identify quite readily the cultural markings on this. It's Thauhiliathi, Ice Elven.
Oh.
And as you look at it, you do see that the links are actually not made of metal. They're made of ice.
Oh.
And you can see that around it, the air is... there is like a little haze of condensed water drop vapor around it. Evidently, it's quite cold.
Wait, where did all these zombies come from again?
Around?
Like, from off of the island, though, right?
No.
We
saw a bunch being made from villages around the island.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was not privy for that session. I don't think.
It's very possible that this nation has been effectively destroyed.
What if it was the bone ship?
Is
that way? Is that
do you
sorry,
guys want that? I could probably, slowly drag it, but...
I mean, no, we should get out of here.
Well,
We could also probably just hop the step and go down.
I'm gonna check the rest of the rooms, so if you don't want to keep holding my hand, that's fine.
What does the cup symbol? Whose is that? Whose is that?
That is Polonius' symbol.
Okay,
Yep.
I figured that it was worth checking.
Oh,
So, I did give you, I think, 40,000 for a Polonius item. Was it 20 or 40? Something like that. You never got back to me on that.
Oh, I don't recall. Let me look. And okay, Nuva, enjoy your meal.
His final meal before he can finally eat for real again.
Okay.
Math.
When did you send this to me?
Math. That's leaving 41,000 for a Polonius item. That was 2,620.
Oh, and I never got back to you on that. What that would be. You're right. My bad. Let me figure that out. I can't figure that out right now, but I will get back to you this session. Between sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I have the next 3 days off, so.
Oh, you're good. I thought I mentioned it before, and it's just like, it's not like super pressing. So
no, absolutely. I just forgot. Let me write it down.
How dare you, Sales?
How dare you?
Also,
no, I'm kidding.
is there anything like? Well, we can talk about it at the end of the session. Anyway, so yes, you find that.
anything else in the other rooms?
There are several other chambers. In one is a library. Most of the books have either been... actually, the library appears to have just been burnt, incinerated.
Bastards!
He will actively say that out loud the moment he sees it.
You see a chamber of other books. A second library room.
May also burn this one down.
Yes, it has also been burnt down. However, if you could roll a perception check.
Mm-hmm. If I could roll higher than a 6, that would be nice.
Well, some days you don't. Yes, this second library has also been burnt down, as has, but apparently, what looks like a rosebed.
Rosebed?
There is a burnt and mostly destroyed
Mostly destroyed.
flower bed in here with a very tangled vine of plant that is utterly covered in thorns. But there is one red rose remaining, evidently untouched.
I want it.
Oh,
Also,
that's
can I roll a knowledge religion?
Sure.
That's either godly or cursed. You have fun with that.
Asai, red roses are sacred to Delazi, the goddess of lies and secrets.
Freaking knew it.
She
up
is
with her?
very much embodies the concept of something beautiful hiding thorns.
Okay. I did a quick burst heal to give everyone who was within 30 feet of another person 27 and I think it was
Everybody recovers
26.
26 hit points.
And then I'm gonna go down the stairs and just skip the bad step and look out for other bad steps, but skip the bad step.
All right, make a perception check.
Okay.
You do see another bad step a little bit further down and are able to also step over it.
Cool.
All these guys are dicks.
Yeah.
Last but not least, there is a final chamber, the last one that ends into which the hallway terminates. A sort of a chamber larger than the others, with several pews facing towards a carved stone statue of a lich, a human skeleton. He is holding a scepter wrought in gold. And plunged into his skull, or actually perhaps pushed out from within, are a halo of iron spikes.
Well, that seems fucking uncomfortable.
It's Big Z.
Does it look anything like the actual one?
Asai, you don't need to recognize. You don't need to roll to recognize the statue of Xerxes.
So, does it look anything like the actual guy?
It's a remarkably close recreation. It's quite well done.
Did he have weird spikes coming out of his head?
Yes. Although to you he was not... Actually, no, he didn't. Excuse me. To you, he was just a voice.
I thought you said I was like in front with a throne and like big because
You're right.
scared. Yeah.
My memory is bad sometimes. La-ba-dee, la-da-dee.
This is gonna be all of our characters after all the campaigns are done. When we see Sir Xerxes.
Yeah, Sir Texley, he when he appeared to you, actually, he appeared as a human with a goatee, and a rather normal circlet.
Of course, he had a goatee.
Orden can't. I mean, I got it wrong.
It's just like as he's looking, it's like,
man, they got it wrong. How bad, how dumb do you gotta be to like have an entire religion, build a statue of the guy, and get it wrong?
I know, right? He's much better looking. But yes, that's what you find. You also see on you see there's a few other things in this room. This room was actually kind of left untouched for some reason.
Don't mess with the sacred crap. Clearly, if they're worshipping the room, they're not gonna ransack it.
You do see on one side there is a sort of a bureau or a server sort of thing for holding. It holds a couple of chalices wrought in silver, a number of incense holders and candles, but on 5 individual stands there are 5 shuriken throwing stars. One, each one a different color, and marked with the symbol of a spiraling dragon.
I cannot believe this is the way we become Power Rangers.
What the? Please.
Well, since there's only 5 of them, we gotta find green somewhere else.
Actually, one of them is green.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Whoa.
Well, this is one of those. I mean, so what
This is
colors do we have
non-canonical.
here? No. It depends on which series, because some series have other colors. Come on.
But there's always red and there's always blue.
Yes. So Sal, what colors out there?
There is a blue one, a
Yeah.
red one,
Uh-huh.
a golden one. Excuse me. Allow me to begin. There is a dark metal one that looks like it is made out of iron. There is one of them. The next one is not made out of metal, is made out of ivory. The third is made out of jade.
Ooh.
The fourth appears to be made out of a very... it appears to be made entirely out of lapis lazuli. And the last is gold, inlaid with crimson varnish.
Well, I picked that one up.
Wait, are they evil? Don't just go
I mean,
touching
you
weird.
can't pick it up. It's
You're not downstairs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
wait,
if
maybe I
anyone,
skipped the back steps.
Down. Yeah, so I jumped
Huh?
down the stairs.
Oh,
Who
right.
in the
Aside
campaign-
did jump down the stairs.
Who
Well, then
in the
yeah.
campaign are Bulk and Skull?
So I'm gonna use an Arcanist point to give myself Arcane Eye. That just lets me detect magic. How much magic are not of these things?
They are all magical.
Well,
Ooh.
shit.
You also detect that the statue is magical.
Like the one right in front of me, or the one
The
downstairs?
big statue of Xerxes. They're in the same room.
That
Ah,
seems bad.
well, that's magic, that's magic, that's magic, that's magic, that's magic. And so is that big thing.
Can you tell what type of magic?
I can, it's detect magic, right? So, what types?
Necromancy.
The
Necromancy.
the 5 shuriken each have different auras.
One of them.
But none of them are necromancy.
Ah,
Yo, I mean, what if I did call the shot and this house giving us like a
Too much.
superpower?
No.
That would be insane. He
This
already
is-
regrets making
Sada
us
is
as
a-
powerful as we are.
This is clearly for Sada because she's a ninja. These are shuriken that I
Exactly.
can throw.
She's the golden dragon, and there is a golden dragon shuriken. She needs it. This is
It's a lapis lazuli.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Shuriken.
yeah, it's a trap made specifically for us.
Yeah, but it's so
Yeah.
sick. What if we just do
this
it?
is a good way to die, but like, I'm just waiting the way. While someone gets sparked out of there.
All right, Sals.
Think he's
I'm
gonna
gonna
touch things.
I'm gonna initiate a save state.
Doesn't
Um,
exist.
I pressed F5 to quick
Uh-huh.
save.
I'm gonna spend all my Arcanus points. We're just gonna quick save.
Yeah.
I use all my hero points to quick save.
I am afraid it does not work that way.
So what kind of magic? What kind of magic?
Okay,
Uh,
so what kind of magic?
It kind of pulls up.
you detect that I can't find where I wrote down the fucking things.
Transformation,
I am willing
transformation,
to let
transformation.
Asai die to get you guys the shirt.
You also see that the scepter is the focus of the statue's magic. It has a strong evocation aura. Oh, here it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's Lord Zed. Come on.
The iron one has a transmutation aura. The azure one has a evocation aura. The jade one has a evocation aura. Excuse me, a conjuration aura, I believe. Let me check on that one. I'm actually not sure. No, I lied both times. It has a transmutation aura. The ivory one has an evocation aura, and the crimson one has a divination aura.
I relay all of that. What about the staff?
This tells
So-
me nothing.
You said
Staff was evocation.
You said evocation.
Iron was transmutation. Lapis. Okay. Gold was divination. Jade was conjuration. Ivory was evocation. What was lapis?
Lapis was evocation.
Evocation. Okay.
If you can get them up here, I can probably identify them. But yeah. Good luck. I'm not letting Sparks get killed. I could probably mage hand him though. But like, also,
I reach out to touch one of the shuriken, but I do not touch it yet.
Okay. Your hand extends towards one of the shuriken.
I touch it.
what's the range?
Are we
on
down there
ranging?
now? Can we get down there?
No, only Asai is down there so far. The rest of you have been staying up there, unless you would like to come down.
I mean, I think we would have gone down if the Sai went down without any issues.
I don't think anything. I do what you guys tell me you do. Would you like to follow Asai down?
Would we all go
Just a
down?
robot.
It's a question for all of you.
Yeah,
No,
must.
I'm no. No, I'm
Logan is
good.
happy up there.
That'll go down.
You're such
Okay.
a good little cat.
25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 levels. Also, I got like 45 feet of mage hand. Neat.
Yeah. Asai, you touch one of the shuriken as Sada reaches the bottom of the stairs, carefully stepping over the. Asai, did you mark the step that's bad in any way? No.
I thought about it, but I
Sada,
don't have a
could you,
way to. I
Could you make
probably
a
yelled
perception-
up to Logan.
I mean, I saw him flying down, so like,
See, traps are only a problem if the DM is not a stickler. So sorry.
I'm not. Well, I guess I won't
Um,
go down there. I figured I would have followed a side down. But if I saw her going down, I think I would have. Never mind then. I'm
didn't say
still.
so.
I didn't realize you sort of just made it happen. I don't know. So never mind. I'm not going down.
Okay,
I'm
Sada,
just-
you start to go down, but then think of better of it. Asai, you touch the shuriken,
Yes.
and as you do so, nothing happens.
Amazing.
Well, I didn't lose a friend or a familiar today.
I would like to look at Sparks, who is, watching me do this, and say, hey, you should get Sada down here and tell her to avoid steps 6 and 8.
Sparks will nod and then fly back over there.
Okay.
Sparks
Or
is
whatever
also
the...
a shimmer wing, so you can just like throw a little glitter dust on it.
Yeah. Also, while Sparks is behind you, Asai is just like a constant because it's just a huge ass dragonfly that's next to you. It's like a B-52 taking off. Anyway, Sparks relays the message to Logan, and Logan is able to relay that to Sada. Now warned about the.
Yeah, no, there's some trapped upstairs. So Sparks
Yeah, I
is gonna
know.
lay a little glitter dust on him.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I go now.
Sparks marks the stairs, and with them so picked out, Sada, you're able to walk down the stairs and skip them quite easily. Soon finding yourself with Asai in the Temple of Xerxes, or the chapel rather, as it is.
I
Before you-
hand Sada the golden shuriken.
What?
Sada, you hold a golden
I die.
shuriken.
I die instantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It explodes.
This seems like a terrible material to make a shuriken out of. Gold's too soft and
is.
heavy.
Except it does not feel soft or heavy. Actually, it feels about the same weight as a steel shuriken would.
Oh, okay.
Though it does appear to be made of gold.
What's it do?
Eh.
I'm asking you.
You can always just bring it back up.
No.
Yeah, so here, you hold the rest of these, and Asai will, like, pile the shuriken into Sada's arms.
Okay.
And then...
How much do they weigh?
5
not
billion
much.
pounds.
As
Like-
much as normal shuriken, which are quite light. So,
Together?
yeah, they're basic. Together, like, they basically maybe weigh half a pound.
So Mage Hand can definitely pick it up. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're also gonna, Sparks, lead me to the other things you've seen.
Okay. Thank you.
Sparks leads you over to the statue of Xerxes, who looms over you menacingly. That scepter has an evocation aura.
Do I want to touch that? 1 second.
Probably not. Probably not.
I don't touch it.
Okay.
How big is this scepter?
You flipped a coin. Okay. And then Sparks leads you over to that chainmail shirt.
Pick that one up.
You pick it up. It is deathly cold. Not enough to deal damage, but you feel it through your gloves immediately.
Well, this is going to Kasumi. Put that in Sada's arms. Pick a rose, put that on top of the pile.
You pick the rose.
What are you saying down here?
No, we can go now. I think that's everything, unless you want the scepter.
No.
I mean,
Bow
it probably wouldn't be a good idea to let them have it.
and scepter.
So if they come back for it,
Asai, as you pick the rose,
Ooh.
it is beautiful, perfectly in bloom. As you do so, you feel a slight prick to one of your fingers.
Of course.
You take
1
a
billion.
1-point injury.
Oh.
Oh, ooh.
as your finger bleeds.
How much injury?
1.
1 point.
1.
Okay. You'll walk it off.
An ouchie
Yeah,
boo
that
boo.
is something that you will recover by just taking a nap. It was just a prick from a
Asai lets out a scream of bloody
thorn.
murder. Ah!
Okay, it's evocation, not necromancy.
Sparks, Logan, you still have mage sight on. Sparks would see that the rose is actually magical now that, and once it's back in his view.
Ooh.
What kind of magic?
Divination.
Oh, there's some divination magic on that rose.
Interesting. Fine, we'll go for broke. Asai will pick up the scepter.
All right, you draw the scepter. Asai, this scepter is extremely heavy.
Oh god.
Incredibly so. Heavier than gold. If it was entirely made of gold, it'd be extremely heavy. This is even heavier. You have difficulty lifting it out of Xerxes' hand. And at your touch, however, as you're grasping it and trying to work it out, trying to heft it, the illusion that was turning it to gold fades, revealing its leaden true self. A leadenness that begins to creep its way into your fingers as its coloration begins to seep onto your glove and make its way up your arm. I need you to make a fortitude save.
Okay.
Is this on the scepter or the shuriken?
This is on the scepter.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's on a side now.
Yeah.
Fortitude is actually an okay, and that's
Okay. Asai, you are able to resist this spell. Partially. I think.
I think.
Of course the man traps his scepter.
Actually, no, it's not partially. You negate it. You're able to force back the transmutative feeling that was creeping its way up your arm and return it to the scepter and finally work your fingers again to take it, to withdraw it. As you realize that scepter, as it turns back to its golden state, is enchanted to turn whoever grasps it into lead.
Cool.
Oh,
So bad. Oh boy.
That's a nice loyalty test there.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't the upstairs just full of lead statues?
They're filled with golden statues, actually.
Oh, okay.
Or are they lead statues that are covered in gold?
Yeah, exactly.
Are they lead statues covered in gold? Yeah.
Start to scratch away at it.
I'm just gonna take my dagger and just scratch away at one of the smaller ones.
Make a will save.
Ah, shit.
This place sucks.
Can I just use Mage Hand and pick up the knife?
Nope.
Damn it. Alright. Will save it is. Abilities. No, defenses.
You are able to disbelieve the illusion and see through the golden exterior of the statue to find that not only is the statue not made of gold, and rather is made of lead, but it is not of a beatifically smiling, praying individual, but is of a horrified person who is dressed in just sort of commoner's clothes, with one of his hands in a grasping
that's
position.
good.
Oh, God. If one is it, they're probably all it. Ew.
Yeah.
What about the big statue in the middle?
The dragon?
You don't know?
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Or something, I don't know.
I'm gonna go and lightly scratch on the big statue.
You scratch the patina of gold off of this statue, which is actually made of bronze.
Wow, cheap bastards.
Okay. How?
An entirely golden statue would fall through the floor.
Did we get everything?
I think this is it.
Okay,
But
let's
I
go.
want to bring one of these people and see if we can thaw them and ask who did this.
I mean,
Oh,
I currently have my arms are getting numb. I have a -6 to strength. I can't carry this much.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
your strength is lower than me. Let's go.
That and Sada is exhausted, so,
Yeah.
so Sada is just like
Arch
having a
just-
bad day.
Sada looks like death.
Just
Sparks can
miserable.
just carry them, right? Like, they're not that big.
Sparks can actually handle the shuriken by themselves. It's they're not that bad. They're pretty darn light. So yeah, together
I'm
the
back.
three of you are able to make your way back up the stairs, skipping the two bad ones, and returning to your party. Once
Oh, you
again.
guys are still on the stairs. Okay.
I'm a little VTOL.
Got down them.
Nuva, do you know what we found out?
What?
All these golden statues are petrified villagers.
Except for the big one, which is just made of bronze.
Ah!
This one is just a statue. These though, they're all lead statues covered in gold of people.
They're all people.
There are people who are petrified to lead.
Covered in gold?
Yep.
No, it's an illusion.
Oh,
What?
it's an illusion. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the dragon statue, the statue that's actually bronze, that is actually gold plated.
Okay.
So there is gold on that. It's just mostly bronze. If you were to boil it down, you would actually, and after some alchemical nonsense, and you would be able to separate the gold from the constituent metals of the bronze, and
yeah,
then you'd have a bunch of gold. Or
yeah,
actually,
it's probably not that much alchemical nonsense. I imagine the gold would sink. Just to take, the right mixture. I imagine.
When you melt that, it would have alloyed. So, and also skimming metal isn't exactly easy. So I
was gonna say, like, doesn't gold have a lower melting temperature than like bronze?
Oh, actually, that's a good point.
Soft
So you
metal.
might actually be able to melt it off the bronze. Otherwise, it would be using acids to separate the gold out. Since
what's horrifying is that bronze melts at a lower temperature.
Oh no!
So we just have like weirdly solid gold. It's about 300 degrees less.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is like paper thin gold, so it would just collapse in on itself, really.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's probably not worth doing.
Yeah.
Also, it's a nice statue, so why not just leave it?
Yeah.
A few pounds of gold, or
Or you could just sell the statue for what it is. It's a giant ass statue of a dragon. It's cool looking.
Keep it.
We have one at home.
Why not have two?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with what we need to get done right now?
Yeah, let's go.
Definitely just reduce the damn thing. Just take it.
Let's
Probably
go.
check in with the daimyo.
Yeah.
Let's do plot.
Walking back out into the city, you find that it is quieted down, though it is still quite a bit on fire. However, there are no longer people being chased by zombies running around, or skeletons. And a few people do seem to be making their way out of their hiding places. Quite shell-shocked looking, but using the large plaza in front of the temple to get away from the various burning buildings around them. Your sky skiff is attracting a lot of attention as people just sort of meander around it, looking at it, and also looking at you.
We walk out like that scene at the end of the first Ghostbusters where they're all covered in marshmallows.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Yeah.
Though that's earlier in the film, but yes, much the same.
Oh,
vibe.
true.
This
That
is
was
where
the
they
Slimer.
Yeah, no.
yeah,
we
we're
we come out with
the
the credits music playing. What the hell? And it's
Yeah.
like I forgot the
Saving
sound.
the day.
Yeah, saving the day. Then we get on the Ghostbusters wheel, except it's the airship, the sky skiff.
And then
Right.
Kasumi is carrying out Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
You all get on the sky skiff and power it up. It starts going, "Nyeh," and you take off into the air.
All right, Kasumi, put out all the fire. You can do that, right?
I just want to get a standing ovation for myself because my cat decided to jump into my lap, but incorrectly, so his claws dug right into my thigh, deep, and I didn't scream for the entirety of it. So I deserve. I'm gonna go walk. I'm gonna go walk now and make sure I'm not bleeding.
Thank you, Nuva. We appreciate it. Feel better.
Yeah.
But yeah, you take off. Kasumi, you could attempt to arrest the fires raging in the city.
I'm at least going to try to cut a line to separate the non-burning from the already burnt.
I mean, I can just cast Drench Punch.
I don't know if this is really this is something you do. I just Sada sort of is like tumbles over herself.
Buddy.
Man, I want to sleep.
Kasumi, by the expenditure of your remaining burn, I would allow you, with Logan's help, if you were to take about an hour, just circling over the city, to extinguish it.
Yeah, I can do that.
You guys can do that while we...
I'm very visible and very cool. I got like some water wings on my back.
Okay, and between you and Logan's magic, you are able to create enough of a deluge, and also simply commanding the fire to withdraw with your mind. You tell the fire to go back to the elemental plane of fire, and it obeys. An hour later, the people of the city of Fukutai are looking up at you in general thanks, and a small amount of awe as you save what remains of their city.
How are the dragons doing? Or I imagine
the dragons,
they might have gone back by now.
The Dragon Riders.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The Dragon Riders are just sort of flying around the castle, actually, at this time.
Okay.
Actually, while you're doing that, it'd be more like a half an hour. And I'll let you save half of your remaining burn then, Kasumi, because those three dragons, they're storm dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Blue dragons have fundamental powers over rain, and can create water in quite an expanse at will.
Nice.
So
yeah.
they begin following you and doing much the same, and you're able to get it done quite quickly.
I'm not quite as exhausted or drained.
You are pretty tired, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we all are.
Yes. And as you land back at the castle of Fugatai, you find a number of defenders who are also very tired.
Hey.
The Fugatai defenders, the Kansai samurai, are utterly exhausted. Just spent. They're barely standing at this point. While the elves of Amberellion, city of the Wings of the Phoenix, have marched into fixed ranks, but you do and are standing at attention with complete discipline. But you do note that all of their arrows have been removed from their quivers, and they do look a little strained. The mages are fine.
They're mentally taxed. You just can't see it.
You do note also that, judging from the number of corpses on the walls, that the horde was eventually successful in clambering up them and forcing their way over. It doesn't appear that any of the defenders have died, though. A number of them are wounded, but Greta is with them and has been just popping them back up one by one through occasional expenditure of her magic. Baradun faithfully at her side. And
I nod.
Mostly uninjured for once. Although his hands do have some what looks like gore caked into them.
A little viscera.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
It's a treat.
Small amount.
And come stumbling over
So,
after we land the airship.
You had said that we got like visions of people going to the beach, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So,
we seared on them.
Miles.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Substantial distance.
We'll
And
probably
also
get there in a couple hours.
some time
but-
ago.
Yeah.
What did the person look like? You guys have
The
seen?
person that murdered the village and raised them as zombies looked like he was a human, a Hadanese man, dressed in black robes, his features drawn, aged, perhaps prematurely, his hair missing in patches, and his eyes aglow. He did not look he did not look undead, but his eyes still were aglow with the pale green witch light that is so common with those animated by Xerxes' influence. So that's what he looked like. He had a long, thin, scraggly beard as well. Again, patchy. Like a Japanese Rasputin.
Hmm.
Did he have a little Bartok?
No, he did not.
Aw.
He has no redeeming factors whatsoever. He doesn't even have a good villain song.
What was the ice elf connection in the basement again?
That is a shirt of chainmail.
Oh, the chainmail. That's right.
With also, yeah, there are the chain shirt has a sort of silver metal collar and a pair of pauldrons built into assembled into it. The pauldrons, the collar, and a pair of, well, actually, that's about it, are made of some sort of very whitish silvery metal. Like silver, but even more so. And which is so incredibly light. As you manipulate it, all of it is quite light.
We got Mithril.
The material of the collar and the pauldrons are mithril. The remainder of it appears to be literal ice that is, well, it's translucent and not completely like transparent. It has a certain bluish tint. You've seen this material once before. The fake Lady Shiver that Shazare killed, her breastplate was made out of similar material. Not that it helped her.
Just fucking.
But yeah, Logan, if you'd like to identify these, you can begin to do so. Sada, you are approached by the daimyo of Kansai.
Hey.
The
What's up, fellow
small
daimyo?
child makes his way towards you.
Man, I don't feel so good.
Sada Ryodo.
I sit down next on his level. I just need to sit down. What's up?
It is customary to wait until I allow you to be seated, but given circumstances, anyway.
Killed a lot of big things.
Fine. You have saved my people and myself and my castle and my remaining family members who did not die on your island when killed by one of your allies. My father is who I'm talking about.
I know.
Given that I have seen fit to allow your presence on my island, and given the apparent betrayal of the Shogun's forces, am willing to discuss a cessation of hostilities between yourself and my domain. Perhaps at a later time after you have had time to recover.
Hey, there's probably a few other things you should know too now that this isn't happening. Like there's a bunch of there's some hidden cells in the Elder Temple.
Hidden cells in the Elder Temple?
Yeah, there's some yeah.
It's a big empty tower. Where would they have hidden cells?
Basement.
Yeah, there's a basement. Yeah. There was some dead people down there.
Also, there's trap stairs.
Yeah. They should hopefully still be marked.
2 big blades, at least.
Maybe more.
Understood.
Also, the golden
to investigate.
Well, the golden statues were.
Oh yeah, all the golden statues in there. You know, if you've ever been, those are all just people, but made of lead.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they got turned into lead.
Yeah.
Here.
What?
Minor. Was it minor illusion? Does he have? Let me. I mean, he just. Was it? No, that's a completely different game. Shit. What does he have? Acid Splash, Peace Bond, Decrepit, Magic Missile, Magic Armor, Magic Weapon, Direct. Of course I have Adhesive Spell. He
Why
can, in
are-
fact, not.
Why are they turned into lead?
Oh, because they grabbed a staff that turned them into lead.
There was a cursed scepter and a statue of Xerxes in the underbasement.
Not even sure if it's cursed. That's just the enchantment on it.
Oh, that's true. It's touche.
But yeah, it's got evocation magic on it. You try to grab it, you turn into lead. And they just got rows and rows and rows and rows of the guys.
You think they would have learned
Yeah.
the lesson after one or
It's
two
not
guys,
great.
but
But the dragon statue is just made of bronze.
Yeah.
This kid is looking at you horrified.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
pretty bad. We had a
Not
similar
even
thing.
really. You're not sure if he's actually comprehending what you're saying, except
you-
it's terrible.
We had a
Your-
similar
your
thing in
lord-
Saruga, but it was just the cells.
Your lordship, perhaps
we had that.
we can
Mm.
kind of go over all of this after we
Yeah.
rest and
Yeah,
deal
sort
with
of.
the matters
Paulina,
at hand.
As you start speaking to him and suggesting that he rest too, you start seeing like the incredible weight of what's been happening finally just begin to squash this person who I remind you is a 13-year-old child.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Tears start welling up in his eyes.
Yeah.
Before
Oh,
he
bud.
goes, agreed.
Oh, yeah, man. I get it.
And
It's
I-
okay.
I
We can
apologize.
talk about it.
I will retire and meet you tomorrow.
Of
Oh,
course, your
With
lordship.
that, he bows and
I bow
turns,
back.
wow. Yeah.
making sure to keep his face hidden as he starts
Uh,
walking and then runs back into his castle.
No.
Oh,
And then Sada sort of just keeps her head bowed and falls asleep.
I will protect this little guy at all costs. Oh no. My hands are full.
Logan's just gonna check through his book. And it's just his book of spells.
Man, if things would have really gone bad, we could have gone anywhere but here.
What?
We should
I have a spell
probably...
which would just teleport us all out to a random plane.
No, you don't. Apologies, but
I mean, hey,
teleportation magic
that one
is
sounds fine because it's a random plane, which is very
it's
funny.
not functional in this setting.
Oh, so I gotta get rid of all the teleportation magic.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I think Dimension Door still works.
Dimension door does work.
Because I had a contingency where if someone tried to kill me, I'd go back to the tower. That was, oh man.
I pop a regenerate on Sada so that she can administer to our fine legions of little elfin boys and maybe dismiss them since we're staying the night.
This pass walls.
What's that do to me?
You get 48 points. You are cured 48 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level, and it rids you of exhaustion and fatigue and all
thank God.
non-lethal damage the subject has taken.
Okay.
So teleportation is off, or teleport is off. Anywhere but here is off. What, gate? All those also gone?
8 works.
Okay.
Gate is the one that works.
Plane shift?
Plane shift does not.
Darn.
Tada.
Create Hemingway?
No.
I thought I was done with my spells.
Too bad. Sorry. Something I said at the beginning of the campaign, but that was years ago, so
Spellcaster is never done.
Yeah.
Their spells.
Spellcaster is never done.
Complete madness.
Oh, wow, it's 9:22 already. So,
Yeah.
with that, you are able to dismiss your small force.
Sada wakes up with a start after I get regenerate
Why didn't
cast
you?
on me.
It's not the amount.
I'm a
it's
little
the
less
meaning.
tired now.
And you're able to also find rooms for yourselves in the castle of Fuito, which are quickly assigned to you by the various servants here, and are able to recover from the fight to save this
Yeah.
city. And that is where we will leave off tonight.
How's
as
my
I-
energy? Do I get 1 energy drain per rest? I think. Undone.
Yes, you
Okay.
need to actually make a fortitude save to
Okay.
avoid these becoming permanent.
Okay.
What?
So wait, so create demiplane is off the table.
Great demiplane works.
Oh, cool. I don't have to get rid of that one.
Nope, you're good with that one.
Oh.
Okay. Sada, so one of your negative levels fades. Please make a second fortitude save.
All right. Nice.
Okay. Both of
Okay.
your negative levels fade.
Thank
Now,
God.
if you could also make two fortitude saves.
Do I get
Okay.
what about my strength damage?
Oh, that goes away also.
Okay.
Anyone who took a strength drain disappears. Oh, Paulina, one of your negative levels fades. The other one becomes permanent.
Permanent?
Oh no!
Oh,
What is? How does that? What does that
I
mean?
think has
for
to get
me?
some magic stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
Put
like
down
You
there.
get
what?
removed through greater restoration, I believe.
I think I have in my possession a potion of greater restoration that we have never used.
Hey,
It's in the bag. Can I?
Well.
Can I? Yeah. Can I drink that?
sure. I'm not going to stop you.
Delete that from my inventory, unless anybody objects to. I mean, it is a useful thing to have.
oh no! You're constantly permanently level. No, drink the potion.
Okay.
Yep. Actually, a regular restoration works as well. But
If you could
Which is-
greater resto me back to not being half dead, that'd be awesome.
it's a potion of greater restoration, really.
I've had it in the bag for a long time. I don't know where we got it.
It should be a
Ah.
potion of restoration, since potions
Okay.
don't go above level 4, and greater is a level 7
Okay.
spell. However, it still removes one permanent negative level.
Did we get it
Ooh.
from like Polonius's realm or something?
I don't know.
Maybe. Regardless, you chug it, and your negative level is gone.
Sweet.
Wait.
Oof.
How much money
Um,
do I have?
It also cures all temporary ability damage. And all negative magical effects, penalizing the creature's abilities, cures all temporary ability damage, and restores all points permanently drained from all ability scores. It also eliminates fatigue and exhaustion, and removes all forms of insanity, confusion, and other similar mental effects.
Oh, I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm missing some health. Though we got healed earlier. Sorry, how much was that for? I forgot the sum. 20, 26? That's what that
I
was.
believe that it was... I don't know.
I think that's what that roll up there is, right?
Yes, it is. It is 26.
Cool.
Which is good. Let me heal Pascal for that also, because he was injured. But so he is healed for 26, and then the remainder of his injury is healed when he rests tonight. Which is nice. And so yes, you are able to get to sleep. And feel content in your having saved the city. So who knows what else.
We did it. We
What
saved
other
the
violence?
city.
Oh,
No,
I
We
somehow muted
saved the city.
I somehow muted my headset a while ago. I was trying to talk. I couldn't figure out what the hell's going on.
Oops.
I was gonna ask. I still have -5 strength. I was wondering if anybody could like heal that.
heck.
That actually went away normally.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You're good.
Okay. Hey, did Sai give out the shurikens?
Oh, I mean, Spark still has them. Did you want them?
Did we figure out what they are yet?
Yeah, I'm still identifying them. I just need to roll spellcraft, right?
Yeah, you have enough time if you're just going to be taking it during the night to roll
Yeah.
spellcraft on these, or to determine what these are just by staring at them. Taking 10. So these 5 shuriken are called Shuriken of the Dragon.
Mm.
Or rather, excuse me, these are dragon stars. They are throwing stars made to correlate to the 5 golden dragons of T. So there's an iron dragon star, an azure dragon star, a jade dragon star, an ivory dragon star, and a crimson dragon star. The iron dragon star does d8 damage instead of d4. The azure dragon star, every time it impacts a target, it pushes them 5 feet away from the person who is throwing the star. The jade dragon star entangles a target.
Cool.
The ivory dragon star dazzles the target. And the crimson dragon star allows you to roll twice to hit and take the higher amount.
It's a dragon star of advantage.
Each dragon star has the returning quality.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, just give them all soda.
Here you go.
Oh.
This is what they do.
Okay. Cool.
What about the like the ice armor?
That is a shirt of frozen circlets. That is a mithril chain shirt. Also, since this is actually relevant because you may not apply your enhancement bonus to stars or to this shirt, the stars are also masterwork.
Cool.
The shirt of frozen circlets is a masterwork mithril chain shirt that grants the wearer 20 cold resistance and allows the wearer to cast Wall of Ice once per day.
Neat.
See, I would, but it'd get in the way of my casting. I need my hands. So,
Yeah.
there you go. Someone else can have this.
I'm tempted, but
Would
if
it
no one
fit
takes,
The
I
shirt
want to see it fit that by
visibly. You're not sure if this shirt is It might just be condensation, but the shirt seems to be sweating at the when Batfire says that he's tempted.
Bat Bear can make a wall of ice and then climb it. Whoa.
that's even more tempting.
Sal's, can you put the stars effects in the chat, by the way, so I can copy paste them later or wherever?
Sure.
Thanks.
And what about the rose?
What's the rose do again?
Well, it's got a divination aura, so.
You can put it in your
It
mouth
has-
while you're dancing.
It has a actually
That's also
quite
tempting.
quite powerful divination aura. This one I will require you to roll for
Okay.
because its power is a secret.
Ooh.
I love secrets. I'm tempted to just take it and then find out later when my other leg pops off.
Alright.
Because I never
Secrets.
learned.
Secret. Spellcraft.
Woo!
Nice.
Damn, that's one
Well,
hell of
would
a
you
roll.
like to? I mean, I rolled a 19, so.
Okay.
Secrets are
Yeah,
spicy.
you are able to unravel this thing's secret. Initially, you think that, this is just a rose, honestly. Its divination aura doesn't really seem to do anything. then it seems to be that it can be used as a scrying focus. Like you can stare into the rows and scry on people, which is a little strange. It's not until you continue pushing forward, having to like nudge incredibly interwoven strands of magical spell out of the way to see what lies at the core of this thing. This rose, if you get pricked by it, your location is known constantly to the person that grew it,
Oh no.
and they can cast scry on you
Oh no.
as a standard action at will.
Oh no.
I had a feeling it would be a target and not like a
So,
A
who
helpful
got bricked by that again?
Asai.
Asai.
So, Asai, I
Yeah.
got some bad news. So, whoever grew this can just just cast, scry on you and just know where you're at all the time. Doesn't matter.
Can we figure out who grew it?
Well,
I mean, we definitely could. Does that 51 kind of just give me some insight?
No.
Damn.
Oh,
well, I'm pulling out my blade. Time to die.
so does this rose have any thorns?
Oh yeah.
So I got
Can I
pricked.
just can I mean, I've got my gloves on. Can I just gingerly snip all them bastards off?
You touch the thorns?
Again, I'm not touching. I ain't touching shit. I'm a mage hand that thing, and I'm just gonna take my dagger and just go no, 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 no.
You're working at one of the thorns, holding it away from you with mage hand and just sort of working at it with your dagger. You think you're sort of getting there.
But then it launches right into you.
Oh, son of a bitch!
If you maybe got a little bit more leverage on it.
Okay.
I pull out my fantasy tongs, a +1. I always have my fantasy tongs +1 on me just for cases like this.
All right. You don't have tongs.
Damn.
But if you'd like, you could, I don't know,
Grab it.
put something heavy on it. Not
That
heavy enough to
fire-
obviously squish the rose, but
Oh, I was good.
At this point, I'd say squish the rose.
Batfire goes to get a rock from outside, a big rock.
Do you know how expensive scrying, things to scry in are? They're
Do you
gonna
know
be
how?
where you are anyway.
Okay, do you know how to fix this?
Probably, is it a curse or something? I mean, does that 51 let me know?
Oh yeah, this is a curse.
Would
Yeah,
would
You
so-
also actually 51. As you're starting to work through this, you're thinking to yourself, "Wait a second. This is a magical item. I'm
I'm
trying
not
to work this thorn off of it with a dagger.
Mm.
The only thing this is going to successfully do is get me pricked by it too."
I have a question.
Yes.
Would we know how many people can we is it just it can prick a number of people and the person can pick who he wants to spy on?
Probably.
Yes.
Or is it like a game of tag and whoever got pricked okay.
No, it seems to be whoever gets pricked by the flower.
Well, this seems like an inconvenience for everybody involved, so why don't we just squish the flower with a big rock?
Wouldn't
It's
that
a-
do
it-
anything with the 51?
It's
It
magic.
potentially could destroy the flower, yes.
What
It's
if I
not
lit it on
indestructible.
fire?
I'm just,
No.
we just gonna take that thing outside. I'm gonna squish the hell out of it.
Yeah, I got a big
You
rock
would
right
also
here.
know that doing so would not end the divination effect
Damn.
on Asai.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'll crush a flower. You get
It
some
will.
catharsis out of that.
You can destroy the flower, certainly. Or
So
at least try to.
Batfire looks at Asai and tells her, You are
But
no longer allowed in government meetings from now on.
But also, you're gonna have to definitely get that dispelled.
Oh, woe is me.
You will not.
I mean, I
You're
could just prepare like a dozen remove curses for tomorrow and just cast it on myself until it goes away.
I mean,
That
that's
sounds
very
great.
true.
That sounds great. I'm squashing the rose now. Any questions?
Can I light it on fire first?
Can
Why?
Asai be the one to squash it since she's already
But
cursed?
alright.
I've
I
stared
know.
at this thing for
Yeah.
hours. I want to burn it first.
Just
You
don't want
don't,
anyone else
No,
cursing.
here
you
you
don't want to
go,
actually
and I
curse
give.
yourself.
What?
Here you go.
Saying that Akio doesn't want to accidentally curse himself.
Oh no, this is
Yeah.
bad fire. Akio's over in the
That fire
distance,
as well. Sure.
just like humming the day away.
Yeah, Backfire
Asai,
wouldn't
how
want
are
to get
you
a thorn in
trying
his.
to destroy this rose?
I think Batfire handed Asai a really big rock, in which case it probably pulls Asai over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Asai does not have a high strength score.
Oh,
Well, I mean, first off, I'm just gonna acid splash this thing and just see what happens.
All right. Acid splash.
Yeah.
Roll damage. It's a D4. Actually, never mind. Don't roll damage. That does not affect the rose.
Well,
It sort of sizzles into the ground around it a little, but the rose seems wholly unaffected. It occurs to you that this might explain why this rose survived the inferno it was in.
yeah, it definitely explains why it survived the fire.
What if we just get rid of it?
I mean, you definitely could, but someone else is gonna get pricked. So why don't we just bury the damn thing?
We could just bury it in the new dungeon.
why don't we just?
But what if it starts growing in the new dungeon?
What if we put it in a hole and then we just poop?
Why
on
don't
it?
you just well, first off, it's fertilizer. Secondly, just bury it in some stone. Roses don't grow in rocks.
Wait, if we bury it and then it starts growing, does that mean that we're the ones who grew it? So if
Oh,
someone
shit,
else gets
yeah.
pricked?
I'm a parent now.
So wait, we do have a clipping of a rose. Does that? I don't garden.
I don't think you can grow a rose from a rose clipping,
What
but it
about
is a
magic
flower,
hand?
which is where the seeds come from.
Let me ask Amy. Hey, Amy, can you grow a rose from a rose clipping? I received a yes.
All right.
Well,
I think so.
hey,
That's
we
sort
still
of where
got a
I'm
rose
at
clipping.
too. I think you could root a rose, but I don't know.
All right.
Rose clipping. You want to just grow a new one?
Sure. I mean,
Heck
not
yeah.
not in my backyard.
Logan,
I mean-
you would understand that the person who grew this rose was the person who originally generated this enchantment, not the person who literally put it in the ground. If you were to try and grow a no rose bush out of this rose, you don't think it would succeed in giving you control of the enchantment going forward. You do know also that the rose is still a literal rose that has been removed from its plant. It will eventually die and just sort of wither away.
Cool. I squash it with a rock.
I mean,
No,
Sorry?
I've committed. That wasn't out of character.
Okay, you drop a rock on it.
Problem
It's
solved.
now under a rock.
Okay.
A big rock.
if you lift up the rock, is the rose still fine?
It doesn't matter. No one can lift this rock.
I could lift the rock.
Yeah, but you're not. You're not everybody.
Prove it.
All right. Hey, it is
No.
10 minutes past.
We gotta deal with this roast.
We'll just
Well,
Then
leave it.
I'm joking.
So
Pascal lifts the rock and then puts it back down.
we need bigger rocks, clearly.
Okay, fine. Pascal, we're working together to get a rock that only the two of us can lift.
How about
Together?
you
Okay.
and another get one of the dragon riders to help you. That
No,
way no one could lift a rock.
no, we're having a bromance moment right now.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't call it
I'm-
that, but sure. Okay. With that,
Okay.
we are done for the night.
Yes.
You
Yes,
do not level.
indeed.
What you do, however,
What?
get
You don't
is a thing.
Oh.
What?
know.
Draw point?
You do not get a hero point. However, you do get so each of your classes have something equivalent that you can basically make a choice per level on something. So Sada, you can get either a wild talent or a ninja trick.
Cool.
Pow, you get a key thing.
You gotta be more specific than that.
You can choose a key power.
A key power.
Oh, okay.
Logan, you get an Arcanist exploit.
The greater or normal?
You can select greater ones at this level, so yes, you can choose a greater one if you want. Like it's not limited, right? It's just after a certain level you get access to greater ones.
I'm pretty sure.
Kasumi, you get a wild talent. Which could be a utility wild talent if you want. And who's left? Akio.
That's me.
You get a gun.
Yeah, finally. Oh.
Akio, you get let me see need to find Akio's thingy.
Yeah. Stay away from my thingy.
No, shut up. Let me see. No, I just forgot what class you are. So Akio, you are a fighter and a sword lord. Sword lord doesn't have like something like this.
No.
But fighter does. You get a feat.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll pick a feat.
So, what about levels stuff? How does that apply?
You don't. You are at level 16 still, but you
Okay.
do get access to these things.
Okay. I was just wondering because Kinetis is at 6th level and 10th level ninja, so. Yeah. So I guess I can't get Flame Dread Greater. Okay. I don't think.
Before I all leave.
High level.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't matter, but yeah. Okay, Rama, happy Eid to everybody. Bye.
Bye. Happy Eid.
Good, hell yeah, Nuva.
It's another year.
You did it. You did it.
Feeding yourself.
What?
Eat all of the food.
You can eat all the food now.
Enjoy water.
And
you know
water.
the biggest irony is that you're supposed to feast out and pig out tomorrow. Like it's heavily enforced. You're supposed to eat a lot, but because you fast for a month, your appetite is at its smallest.
Yeah.
Hard, but I've seen people do it, and I'm always just surprised. It's like, what are you guys doing for breakfast? I don't know. It's
everything.
Small amounts of really good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Later.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.